Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Alex, and today we're going to be setting up Pi-hole on Unraid. Why are we going to set up Pi-hole? Well, it's a great tool to keep our family safe on the internet. It's a good way to blacklist any websites that may not be appropriate or are known to cause problems. And it is a tool that can be used to block ads on websites that, may cause problems with all their pop-ups and that nonsense. I'm not going to be focusing on the ad blocking. I'm going to be focusing on basically getting it set up on your network, connecting your clients to it seamlessly by updating your router settings. And it's actually pretty simple to get started. So let's jump into it. So let's jump into the Pi-hole dashboard here, and I'll show you what it looks like before we get it set up. So this basically tells us how many queries this server has done DNS-wise. So before we get started, actually, this basically acts as a DNS server for your network. And so what it's doing is it's filtering all the requests to connect to the internet from your devices, and it's basically saying yes or no. And you can also set up specific DNS servers for it to use. So by default, it does have the Google DNS server set, but I went ahead and added Cloudflare's because I do like their service. So another thing to mention is that if your Unraid server goes down or your Pi-hole instance stops working and you do not have a secondary DNS server set up in your router settings, your clients will not be able to connect to the internet. They'll basically have to disconnect from your home Wi-Fi network in order to browse the internet because that's where the DNS settings are binded to your home network, not your LTE network if you're using a phone or an iPad that's wireless.
90% of the time, I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about.
So basically, yeah, this is your dashboard. You can see we have 2 active clients here because I did not set my network to use the DNS server when I started this instance as an example. But yeah, we can see .211, that's my iPhone there. And if we go back, we can, so if we go back to the dashboard here, we can actually see what queries were blocked. So we can see all these phone homes were blocked for my iPhone calling back to Apple. And we can see it did block quite a bit in the hour or so I had it connected. Oh, there we go. We see some appmeasurement.com, Google, is it googletagmanager.com? So we do see that it is working. And then this ad list thing, I'm not going to focus on that, but if that's what you're into, you can add additional ones that help block other stuff as well. But yeah, we're not going to focus on that. So we can see that that current list has 124,000 sites. We can see that almost 30% of my queries were blocked, and we can see that 397 queries were blocked out of 1,355. So there's a lot of information that you can do with Pi-hole. It does give you quite a bit of, and then there's even some additional tools here that you can run if you're a more advanced user. Today, we're just going to be focusing on installing Pi-hole, though. So let's jump into that. And how do we get started with it? Well, we're going to go over to our community applications, and we're just going to search for Pi-hole. And then I grabbed the BinHex official because they're a repository that I do trust quite a bit. So I'm just going to get this Pi-hole instance uninstalled, and then I'll walk you through on getting it set up. All right, so I've gone ahead and uninstalled Pi-hole, so now we're gonna get it set up again. So like I was saying, we just go to the search bar and we're just gonna search for Pi-hole. And then we're going to grab the official distribution here from the binhex repository. So we're going to go to actions and we're going to go to install. So one or more ports is being used by this application already. We're not going to worry about that because we're going to set up its own IP address. Okay, so the way we're going to set our own IP address for this Docker is we're going to go down to the network type and we're going to change it from bridge to custom. And then here we need to set a fixed IP address. I don't want it to set up its own. I'm going to pick the one that I want. So I need to make sure that I'm picking an IP address that does not have anything already allocated to it. So I'm going to do that by going over to my router. So I'm going to go with 192.168.1.5. And that's all I need to do to get this set up here on the Unraid side. So I'm just going to go ahead and click apply. And it's going to go ahead and download the Docker and get it set up. And actually, while it's doing its thing, I just want to mention if you can, if you find these videos helpful and are able to support the channel, if you can, little icon right up in the corner there, anything helps if you can. But yeah, I don't normally plug myself, but yeah, if you can help support the channel, that'd be really awesome. All right, so it's all done now. So what we need to do before we get logged in is we need to find out the password for this instance. And also we want to make sure that it's starting up automatically if our server ever restarts. So I'm going to make sure that auto start is on. We need to make sure, well, we need to get the login password for this. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to head on over to the logs. And I'm going to scroll up. And what we're looking for is the random. Okay, yeah, here we go. So this is where your password is going to be. It's going to be all the way at the top after you get the installation done. And you're just going to grab that password, copy. Really quickly, I just realized I forgot. I did not tell you how to update the password on your Pi-hole instance on Unraid. So I'm going to show you how to do that really quickly. So basically, you're going to have to use the command prompt and you're going to have to put in a simple line of code. And the way you do that is you can, I'll put it in the description, but you can also Google it as well. And so what you need to do is copy this and go to your Unraid instance. And you're going to go to your Pi-hole and you're going to open up the console. And when you get to this, what you're going to do is you're just going to paste in that code and press enter, and it's going to ask you to put a password in. So we'll go ahead and do that and then confirm. And it is set. And then what you're going to want to go ahead and do is just give your server a restart, your Pi-hole server. And we're going to get into the web UI. And then here we're just going to paste the password in and we'll remember for 7 days until we get it set up. Okay, so this is your fresh instance of your Pi-hole. So we see because we don't have any clients connected, we don't have any queries, nothing blocked, but we do see that there are domains on the ad list already. That is the default list that comes with Pi-hole. So how do we get our clients connected? Well, there's two ways we can do that. And the first way I'm going to show you is a per device way of connecting to our Pi-hole instance, it's we're gonna set our DNS server per device if that's the way you want to go. And the way we're gonna do that is I'm just gonna bring up my phone here and I'll walk you through on how to do that. So we're gonna open up our settings and we're gonna head on over to our Wi-Fi network. And then we're going to scroll down to configure DNS. and we're going to select manual. And so by default, it's using our router's DNS server. We're going to remove that. And we're going to add a server, and we're going to put in the address of our Pi-hole server. We're going to click save. And we see right off the bat, we're getting queries. So we'll just close out of that. Okay, so open the browser. And we'll just head on over to Google. And we see all these queries being blocked. Or sorry, we see all the queries coming through and then what's being blocked. So let's just go to, anything we see. All right. Okay, so we see it is connected. Didn't like that site for some reason, CBC. Let's check out the weather network. So we see the site does look a little different. So, but that's not what I'm focusing on here. I'm just showing you basically how this works, and the live updates we get on the dashboard. So we're going to close out of this, and I'm going to show you the second way how to get all our clients connected seamlessly without having to individually set them up. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to go back to our router. And for me, I'm using the Ubiquiti Unified Dream Machine Pro. So I've got this nice fancy dashboard. So the way I would set up my DNS server to, or my router to point to my DNS server, is I go over to settings and networks. Actually, where are we here? Internet. And for me, my DNS server is manually set up where you can do auto. And so as you can see, I'm using the Cloudflare DNS server, but if I wanted to point all my clients to use that DNS server, I would just simply change this to my DNS server's IP address, and then for a secondary. So if I'm just leaving this blank and my DNS server goes down, none of my clients will be able to connect to the internet. But if I put in a secondary, if this goes down, it'll result to this. So yeah, that's how you would set up all your clients to use your Pi-hole DNS server. So I'm not going to do that, but yeah, so what we can do too as well is if we wanted to blacklist some websites, we go over to domains, and we simply just put in, if we wanted to, block a domain, we could just put in, say, funnyjunk.com, for instance, and we can add all its wildcards, add to blacklist, and that is it. Yeah, that's simple. So if any of the devices that are set to use the Pi-hole DNS server try to connect to funnyjunk.com, it will automatically block them. Don't need that rule because I'm actually not going to leave this set up, but using Pi-hole, it's pretty simple, does keep your family safe, and you can set up some rules and restrictions for devices. You can also add clients. So if I wanted to add my iPhone, which is 211, and I wanted to add this to a group with rules, I could add a group here, and I could define certain rules for this group, and it would not allow it on the internet at certain times. It could block certain websites for users in that group. There's a ton of flexibility with using Pi-hole. All right, so that's pretty much it. Another quick, simple video for you guys. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below, or you can join our Discord server as well. Discord?
Huh?
you can join our Discord server as well. The link for that will be down in the video description. As always, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and take it easy, and I will catch you in the next one.